Starting and it's live.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah.
So
We are
today we got stuck here. We're stuck with two of us for two reasons. One is everybody's busy. Second, Tristan is in the Philippines enjoying himself. We forced him to do a solo when he's back.
Yeah. We promise.
So, what?
We promise.
Yes. Of course, the Rubicon show is coming soon, sooner or later. Sooner or later.
You'll come.
Yeah, it'll come. We're still new in this. So let's start with Bus Corner again, shall we?
Yeah, it's about what is going on first.
Oh yeah. So here's what's going on today. Today will be two of us making a confession of our sin, not necessarily, not just our sin.
We're gonna explain.
About
it's
organizing communities and why we do what we do.
Yeah. What is what also explaining what is meetup.
Yeah.
And why do we want it?
Yeah.
So stay on.
All right. So before we start talking about communities and why we do what we about communities, let's start with what we discovered last week. So throughout the week, Google released an incident report for their Kubernetes container engine, which is down for 4 days, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure that speak well for them.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So I'm still traditional in that sense, so I'm just glad, but ouch, 4 days. All right, another thing that we discovered is OpenMCT. Have you tried OpenMCT? I shared before, right?
I'm not sure about that.
Okay, so here's the cool thing. When we build application, we try to build a dashboard. So traditionally, we build our dashboard using part of the Elk stack. We had Elasticsearch dashboard, Kibana. That's the thing, and we never seem to run out of this. Prometheus have one. They won't go way before this. We have Monit, we had Munin, and all that. Those things are dashboard that collect data.
Yeah.
One way or another, right?
Yeah, and building a dashboard is actually a really mundane job.
Yes,
so
it is.
It's actually not technical challenging at all.
Correct.
So yeah, just try to reuse as much as possible.
Yes. So what happened is then, I'm sorry, I kind of lost a few things. Okay, so what happened then is, sorry, I got distracted. The short answer is, we never out of tools, and now NASA have one, right? NASA actually had OpenMCT. So,
what does MCT means?
It's a mission control tool. And here's the cool thing. Here's the weird thing, right? The dashboard descriptor tend to be used for system administration purposes. You can write code and all that, but it gets weird. But
it's not for launching rockets.
But MCT tool is what originally designed for space program.
Oh, okay. So you use it for the countdown and stuff?
Correct. Each of the rocket actually have sensors. Each space probe, especially the example they use is actually a Mars rover. So they have multiple sensors, satellite, all that. So what they do is they build a dashboard to actually collect pictures, sensor data, then satellite image for where it is and all that. So it's meant to be designed for space program, but the data they collect is actually very flexible. It's so flexible that there's this game called Kerbal Space Program. It's a space program simulator. Somebody
you cruelly experimented with these creatures called Kerbal, send them to space, hope they survive the journey.
Yes. So they actually put the reading back to OpenMCT. There's a frame. We'll share the link later. So they can actually build a whole mission planner on for Kerbal Space Program. But to me, this is actually very cool. But in practice, OpenMCT is very interesting to me because It's flexible enough for you to use for your servers, and more importantly, because it's sensor purpose, so you can use it for your IoT project. So imagine that you can have a mission control for
what?
your road.
IoT? So what do you use?
So because one of the idea. So one of the demo is to actually have photos from the Mars rover supposedly. So in this case, you can put in your webcam. I believe if according to the demo is right, it can use picture from our webcam, our roads, our sensors, and all that. So I think from what
it's a generic dashboard for any data feed.
Yeah, precisely. And to me, that is interesting. But I'm not sure how, I could be wrong. It's something I want to experiment once I set up more things, put my toys in work. But that to me is as interesting. It occurs to me that it's useful for servers and useful for IoT project. And yeah, so that's from OpenMCT. Maybe we should do demo in the future. The last thing is, okay, do you know what is BuildKite?
Yeah.
So can you explain? Because I heard about it yesterday, but I still don't get it.
It's actually a CI tool.
Right. What's the difference between this and Travis or Jenkins again?
I don't know. I never used it before.
Okay. If somebody actually used before, just tell us.
Yeah.
I'm very traditional when it comes to CI. I'm still on Jenkins actually.
Yeah, we have some friends that uses in our channel that uses BuildKite, like Manju. Shout out to him. I think he actually likes BuildKites. We should get him on here to talk about BuildKite sometimes.
Yes. And final tool. The final tool that I'm going to talk about is somebody in using optimizing farm for Stardew Valley with R. And also the latest item from Engineers My Bus Corner is actually Spam Assassin had a new version. Do you know Spam Assassin?
Yeah, from the older days.
Yes. So nowadays everybody just use Gmail, right? But those days when we run our own email servers, internal email servers, we need an anti-spam solution. Spam assassin will be one of those tools that we install to our mail servers to actually scan and filter our email inbox. But the cool thing is Spam Assassin actually had a public data set for us to do spam filtering. And people actually use that to actually moderate. Apparently, from LWN article, which we share later, people use Spam Assassin to actually filter spam from forum.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's like the rules is like generic rules like the app block list.
I believe so, but I do not know how that works. But to me, it's interesting because Spam Assassin is there for a long time for emails, and that is pretty standard. It's a small standard use case, but according to the article in LWN that we share later, they also use it for spam on forums and comments. All right, so enough rambling. So let's talk about communities. What about communities that we want to talk about?
Yeah, I think first we need to explain like what do we do normally as a community.
So do you want to talk in high level, or you just want to be a bit?
I think we just explain. Let the conversation be organic. Just try to talk. Explain about.
So I won't go into history for that, but inevitably I will try to. But the short answer is this. Notice that in university that you get to learn more things, not necessarily about class.
Yeah, okay. You're asking me a question?
Yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Yep, correct. So it's interaction between people and sharing idea, right?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily homework. It can be assignment. It can be stupid project you guys do, right?
Yeah.
So, so in university, when you have a group of people, that's essentially communities, right?
Yeah.
So every project that you do, you essentially like a group of people work together toward something.
So let's be a bit focused here. We'll be focusing on especially technical, because we are sort of related to it.
All right. Now let's filter down further, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's say you go to a conference, a generic conference, right? So now we have a person share knowledge to many people. Then you go to many things, right? Then what happens is then you also share knowledge to other people, correct?
That's the point of getting out.
Precisely. But here's the difference between conferences and tech communities that we have. In traditional conferences, is one guy got paid, share to many people, right?
Yeah, I think that is supposed to be called seminar. If it's
Correct.
one way. For me, conferences is like where people can talk to each other, supposed to share.
Yes, and in this case, things get very interesting. So this is, and turns out that if you talk to people outside the software industry, I call it software industry, because when talk tech, they're going to include engineers and all that. Let's focus on software industry. You realize that in software industry, the sharing is more prevalent.
Yeah, we're the special kind.
Yeah, it's not okay. Maybe they do happen in engineering, but we are more software focused. So, actual engineers, if you are wrong, not in our head, but it goes to this precisely, right? Now, here's the question: why the hell we do that? Yes, Chilia. What do you think? Why
Why the hell we do that? I think the reason why, for me, why I want to do that is first, like we're still a very small group of people. There's the technical community. I mean, the technical population is still very little.
Yep.
And also the technical knowledge gap is huge. Like people that with little knowledge to there's no in between. Like there's either a lot of, it's actually a U curve.
Yep.
A lot of people that don't know and people that knows, they are separated in the middle. And yeah, it's like there's so what I think by doing like community events like meetups and stuff is to make everybody basically, it's not mainly about, of course, the even though the way we sell it is promote like technical knowledges, but what technical meetups suppose for me is for people to bond with each other. It's not the hard facts or knowledge that you have to learn it, but more about like meeting people, then find like-minded people, so you guys can have more sort of like extra groups or whatever, learning groups, study groups, workshops. There's a continuity in doing more sorts of these things. And why do we need to, for me, why do I want to do that is we are very small. And if you ask around like any people like asking them about like how's the technical thing, IT thing going on in Malaysia, like everybody will tell you that, oh, there's nothing actually going on in Malaysia. So what that is first we need to give people visibility of like there's, it's actually existing. It's actually surprisingly pretty vibrant. There's a lot of startups as well. There's a lot of IT companies. And also back to the reason why do we want to do that is to reduce the gap, like
Okay.
make sure bring up the level, technical level of everybody, so we can reach the critical mass and everybody get improved really fast.
All right. So here's the thing, right? You already said everything that I want to say, but I'm going to be devil's advocate now. I'm going to be devil's advocate.
Yeah,
but
sure.
aim
Bring it on.
In specific knowledge means competitive advantage.
Yeah.
So why do we share our knowledge that is special to us, and why people means that we own this thing instead of really giving out to other people? So
for me, I think that in this 21st century and internet era, is nothing is really secret. Like even for West, I mean, if you want to talk about cooking, is you just need to spend a bit more effort to it. There's really nothing secret sauce or something that, oh, you just add this stuff and you make everything taste better. That of course there is. It's called MSG. So, but
it's cracking.
Just the logic is actually the same with open source, free and open source movement. Why people share software, even though like there's a lot of free and open source software out there that let you modify, you can sell it out, provided yet that you respect the licensing. there's still people that don't want to do it. I mean, even though you share it out, like my experience is, even though you share it out, people will be still reluctant to take it out. I mean, but that is not the reason why it should demotivate us. For my own thinking is aim to target the 1 or 2 person that might. I mean, it sounds a bit like grand, but it's like their life might be influenced by you. Just remember that there might be people that can be inspired by you.
So okay, so I'm going to back to my old self.
Yeah.
So instead of that, so there is actually many level of looking at why we organize tech community. There is the practical side, and also there is ideology side, right?
Yep.
So the practical side is actually, you're right in the way that there's no secret in the tech community. But here's another different thing. In software, there's no competitive advantage at keeping things to yourself, because everybody will do something that is doing the same thing, maybe a different approach, a similar approach.
Sooner or later, people will reinvent stuff and give it another name.
And here's the cool thing. Here's the interesting thing. The same thing that you might keep secret about might be recreated within 2 weeks.
Or in a very dangerous way might be wrong, especially when people try to redesign their encryption algorithms.
Yes.
No, that is really dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah, but that is actually practice, which goes another practice. So there's another level of actually hit another level of another reason why we share. It's about practice. It's about why we share, because the based on our experience in cryptography, systems are meant to be tested, and how best to test a system and to improve it than by sharing it out, right? More people.
I think that is for another topic for another day. Like
correct.
It's
so we're going to do this because I got feeling that community organizing and open source software sharing, this will be a multi-part. I think this will be part of an umbrella event. Umbrella topic that we're going to split into multiple topics throughout the next few weeks or so. So, and finally, here's what we actually gain benefit in practice about running community. It's about knowing something that you don't know about. So remember that I keep saying that there's no competitive advantage in software, keeping secret in software.
Yeah.
So by sharing out, we're actually leveling everything, leveling the playing field for everyone, right? And I know this is weird, but because there's no competitive advantage for keeping stuff for a week or two, they're going gone a week or two. So what you do is, everybody get to learn, and more importantly, you learn from other, and people learn from you. Everybody is equal. But this is weird. What's the point of doing that, right? So you get something that is very selfish way of thinking, but it's one way to think about it lah, which I think is not healthy, but in practice, this is what happened.
I think I would like to put this as the analogy might be wrong, but it will be similar to chess players. Like there is, I don't think there is any secret in that. I don't know. But the more you play with each other, the more you improve. Like that's the way I see it.
Yes, chess. On the other hand, there is two things that's very open. One, the tournament is always open, right?
Yeah.
Once you go to professional tournament, every move is shown. It goes the same for board game, Go, and all that. And the second thing, it's about for chess, there's actually a playbook where people use as a base for them to start. Go had the same technique that got shared from master to student that is used as a base. In a way, you would think that, in a way, software development is the same. We had common libraries that is used by everyone, but we end up doing something unique. So yeah, in a way, software have no secret most of the time.
And also for, if I want to put it in a more selfish way or self-serving way that people will try to get it is to make hiring easier.
Yeah, but
is to find first is to if people like it's a CSR for company, PR. I mean, also in a way like good PR for them, and also for people that wants to find job and change jobs.
Yes, but experience tell us that is never sustainable. We get a spike, then drop it.
Yeah, but
I know the theory is right, but experience always shows it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, that's what we figure out also.
Yes.
And I actually get some question from time to time. A very common question is, why do we run it? Like, yeah, like, but why do you run community events? Like, because you basically free up your own free time.
Yes.
Getting a place, like probably you get a sponsor or the place. Why people want to sponsor a free event, and also why people want to sponsor free event and feed the people that come for the event, and also like present for free. Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you my little history of community organizing. I got my experience from Force My by OSS. This around
10 years
early
ago.
2000. Yeah, 10, 13 years ago. I discovered it later in the university. They organize monthly meetup at different places. I'm still a student at the time. I'm still a student. So what happened is, because as a student, I do not get too much exposure about how the real world works, right?
Yeah.
But this event that they do actually opens up, give me experience I otherwise do not get to see. Especially when I go to a university, the setting is a little traditional in a way. Microsoft shop, heavy intellectual property, stuff, and no sharing, no technical sharing, minimum technical sharing. Whereas open source world is very different. Everything is open. As a result, a student can go as deep as I want. I do not go too deep, but I'm a beneficiary of having exposed to different things from open source, right? It can be something as silly as a one-line script to generate thumbnail using Linux command line to actual virtualization infrastructure. I think that's a very big deal for student. I know it's less selfish, but I'm a beneficiary for it. So as a result, I spend time to actually organize this events. Okay, so this is my thing, right? And to me, because as a beneficiary of this kind of system, I try to give up so that others get a chance, right? Do I get something out of it? Yes, but that is always like the last thing, because I did not get a lot of stuff until much later. I do not. Yes, by running as a Python community organizer, people know me as a Python developer, but I already get job without relying on this on the network. You know what I mean?
I think I have the similar experience as well. It's like what I actually benefited from the community, and what I hope by doing this is so others can follow it and pay it forward.
Yes.
So there's a continuity of this helping out with each others and knowledge sharing and stuff. So
unfortunately, this requires the idea of sharing and not holding things in, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't think that there's any much secret.
No.
At all. Like, yeah, there might be some, like, but mainly about how you do things, but the implementation details. But most of the time, like the high level knowledge and stuff it's pretty much safe to be shared.
Yes, because you will get it on the internet anyway, right?
Yeah.
You'll get it from the internet anyway.
Yeah. And nowadays, the fortunate part is most company that give up their libraries and tools for, license them as free and open source.
Yeah.
As like something like a CSR, or for at least if you want to see it that way, for getting karma.
Yeah.
So, but it works.
Yeah, it works, but those are mostly overseas company, not Malaysian company, right? We're going to talk. I'm going to slide track a little to the culture of sharing to software. This is a little off topic, but culture sharing is important. Culture sharing is what we do. But I recently read a book called Blood and Pixels. It's about game development. Game development, often they have to start things from scratch, right? They have to start things from scratch because of platform, because they want the new adventure using new engines and all that. It occurs to me from every time I read the book, because of the rush, they almost use like new tools all the time for various reasons. It occurs to me that it seems doesn't have sharing between companies and all that. I mean, there is some, but it get weird. But we kind of take sharing for granted among us nowadays. Notice that?
Yeah, it's actually like everything is like there is a free and open source version of it nowadays.
Yeah. I think we should have a topic later about open source in general.
Yep.
It's related.
Free and open source, please. Like, or else you.
Libre and open source. Yes. So, but here's the thing about running community. How about getting people to understand why they do it?
I think the reason is the simplest way is to show them how it works.
Yep.
And try to engage them. Try to persuade them to probably host or even attend some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though not everybody can get it, but as long as some get it, then it serves a purpose already.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think like if you aim for like a total victory of everything, I think it's pretty much impossible, and it's also pretty demotivating to go on with it.
Which is why I don't like the fact that some when people ask us about KPIs, I don't think that's very healthy.
It's a good guideline, but because for me, I still prioritize like my day job. So I to be honest, I don't prioritize that much compared to like I have to be dedicated. Yeah.
But one bonus about having community, actually having a support system. As an adult, we don't actually make a lot of friends, right? We don't actually make a lot of friends. The older you go, the less friends you have. So your social cycle will only limited to your co-worker.
That's a bit sad, right?
And that is surprisingly common. I'm sorry, but that is surprisingly common. For even though we had the internet, the actual social circle of a human is actually
the internet of loneliness.
Yes, your family, your co-worker, your extended family. There's like during Chinese New Year or so. Then every Chinese New Year you might have a university gathering somehow. So your social circle is actually very small. I'm sorry, but
that's true. That's true.
And
especially once everybody like moving around, getting busy and stuff.
Yes, I think the tech community, what we're doing is good in a way that, okay, so as a result, people are lonely, right? Because we need a social circle. I'm not saying that we should use the tech community as a therapy session, but we do use that occasionally, right?
We try to help out, like, if possible.
Yes.
But with the consent mostly, like.
We don't go crazy over it, but I think this is something to think about as well. A lot of people do not actually thought that, this kind of soft, fuzzy thing like social circles, friends, therapy group is useful, but I think it's very useful, especially when our circle, the type of work that we do occasionally require us to work until late night. That actually happened common in my IT industry as well, because planning is not, the planning is pretty bad, at least down here, at least the one that I've joined. So as a result, I think tech community as a social circle is pretty important actually. Like, I find it useful, which is why I like, I should join more community events. So there is 3 parts already, right? Community event as a sharing event, community as a social circle, social support. Then the knowledge support, what else? Then we have the practical part of social sharing, software and all that. What else do we have?
And also, sharing, I think sharing includes like collaboration as well. So
yes.
I mean, if you want to put it that way, it's
yes.
I think it's a way for, if I put it this way, is to it's still not that common in Malaysia yet, but for us to support each other's business wise.
Yes.
Right.
Especially true for IT in a way that we do not actually have a formal, I mean, we had an official computer association, but we don't have a formal, we don't have an organization that really talk to us or gather us together. I mean, that's
some depending on the line of work, but like mostly consultation firms still depends really pretty much on word of mouth.
Yeah,
like freelancers and stuff.
Correct. So the lawyers have the bar council, and the medical community have their own thing, etc. We don't actually have that in IT. But I'm not saying that we should formalize. I'm not saying that we should formalize IT. This is why we actually engage the government long time back.
It's actually, if it can be done right, I'm actually pretty pro formalization. But the problem is that because the industry is still moving very fast.
Yes.
And if I want to put it, it's pretty much of a personal opinion. Is I don't like people that are in the board of designing the formalization process.
So, but my thing is, all this organization is very useful to expand our social cycle as a support organization in a situation where our work is not, the IT industry is not exactly a healthy environment. Having a social support is a good thing, even though the organization, we don't have a formal organization. So I think community is something, I think it's something to think about, because we just don't have a healthy environment. I'm sorry, but we sit a lot, sometimes have to work overnight in a commercial environment that everything are expected to be fast.
I think sometimes with even talking with people with to share similar issues helps, just by like understanding some, like as simple as realizing that the kind of issues that we're facing are not unique to us. And it's a bit silly, but if probably it's my really personal opinionated idea is that if you realize that we are not special, we actually are better off.
Actually, it is actually true, because for some reason, because we tend to isolate ourselves, the industry tend to be making us isolated for various reasons. Almost everyone think their little problem is the same. Most people think would the smaller circle you have, then you focus around your working circle. So you would think that we got horrible boss. You know what? A lot of companies have horrible boss. I'm sorry, but that exists.
You might be the horrible boss.
We have bad planning. Bad planning is common. I know. I work in a few companies that got that, etc. Right? So, as the environment, the working environment in Malaysia tend to isolate us. I'm sorry, but it goes back to social support, because believe it or not, you're not alone. Often, most problems are the same, and all that. But here's another advantage of actually having a group conference. Like, okay, so this is conflict of interest because I run PyCon, the Python conference. But having a formal organization means we can exchange between different countries.
Yeah.
A little again, this is a conflict of interest again. PyCon Malaysia have some extra money, but we have been helping to pay some of the Malaysian developer that actually give talk to Python conference across the region that show us that their CFP accepted, they're going to other country and they have to write a blog post, etc. Now, why does this involve community? The short answer is the mission. Companies can do that. So companies' goal is to improve companies. The tech community, PyCon as a not organization that focus on Python developers, had a focus on improving the community in general, right? Which is why we spend the effort to bring in speakers from overseas, which is why we send our developer to give talk to show themselves outside Malaysia. It's about growing us, right? And so from sharing, we should actually go to growing us, right? So I know this is weird, but it essentially goes like this. Sharing is we grow by sharing, but it's not just about sharing. It's about putting us out, highlighting us, but in the end also feed the community with more knowledge, more capability, and all that.
Yeah.
A community enabled that. Yes, company do that as well, but company circle is smaller, whereas a community tend to be represent multiple organizations for.
I think the one of the roadblock for company to do community, even though the purpose is actually altruistic, is that people, because of nature that is associated with company, people will still be reserved because the perceived association with certain company. So yeah, if you're on a neutral ground, like a, I don't know,
no, actually
committee, then there's less roadblock. I don't know.
Okay, look, a community organization would form a neutral ground, right? In theory, we are not very good at it. We're still very male dominated, for example, and we tend to be. Put it this way, our race is not really balanced, but it's one neutral ground. It's one neutral ground.
In Malaysia, language is still an issue.
Yeah.
So we are still fragmented. Even not just by by media and stuff, but even by technical community, we are still fragmented by languages.
Yeah, we are very privileged in a way that we can speak English actually.
Yeah.
But let's not worry about that part. I mean, it's true, but the tech community also form a common ground, a neutral ground for people to grow. That is not limited by company. That is not in competition. It's a collaboration.
I think I think what you say just now was pretty accurate. It's more about the support system.
Yes, it's a support system, and when you say a support system, it's not just. So originally I thought about support as support of you, but a support environment also allows you to grow.
Yeah.
So you're building a house where people come. I'm going to give a very okay. I'm going to give an abstract idea. I don't think it's a good idea here. It's a library. It's a library. Okay. So a company is like a house with your own personal book, correct? You go out, buy more book, keep more stuff to yourself, right? Now, a library is where people go to me. But things get very interesting in the way that because the knowledge are stored in people's heads, so remember that. So instead of you hoarding books and keep it to yourself, the books in library exchange hand to many other people. That's sharing.
Yep.
That's sharing. People occasionally give book in. That's more sharing. So the books they exchange is essentially the book that being exchanged is actually our knowledge, our sharing session, our conferences, right? The book that go in, that donated to the library, those are essentially the speaker. People donate their knowledge, giving out. Why do they want to give out the knowledge? Because turns out that more people sharing their book means more people get things out, right?
Yep.
More
You'll be
books.
validated as well.
Correct. So of course there's social part of social capital and all that, but let's not worry about that. Let's not worry about the big idea of give economy for now. It's actually a cool topic, but let's not go there. But as more people give book, you get more things out. You get more things out, right? And a library is not just a library of books. It's a place where people can go in. It's people can learn together because it's meeting room and all that, right? Those are groups of people. And library also have a modern library also have theater and all that. That is your gathering place. So I believe a tech community is a social support system where people gather, people share, people help, people ask for help, right? Otherwise, in a company where you only work with a smaller group of people, there is the same thing. You pretty much know the same. You might not get some fresh idea in practice. You might not you might not go through a hurdle because you need help. The same way that when your book is not enough at home for you to help solve problem, you need to go library. You go to the library and get extra book, hopefully to solve your problem. So a tech community will actually means that you can go outside your organization to actually do your thing, grow, solve your problem, etc. So, and to me, that is actually very important because otherwise we keep isolated.
Also, the industry is considered still I think pretty much in its infancy.
Yes.
Because everything still changes really fast.
Correct.
Depending on what you're working on, but they are still moving very fast.
Yes. Unfortunately, we every 6 months there will be new library and all that.
Yeah. Even if you're doing like hardwares and stuff, there's a lot more capabilities coming out. Like more you can do with it.
Correct.
And sticking with yourself doesn't help with that.
No.
Yeah, and you'll be pretty much lag behind if you.
And that's the business case for it, right?
Yeah.
Traditional way, as you look at the government right now, to learn new things, set up a new event, a new agency, keep people inside, hold it, right? Our way is essentially say, open up, share it out. Each people might have different idea for something. And I think we should actually know more on this because, and yeah, I think tech company have to do that now because it's especially true when things move very fast, as you say. 6 months, something new. Are you going to lock yourself in and learn it? Or are you going to talk to us to learn together? Your call. If you think you can do that, sure, go ahead. I'm just saying that our experience says, our experience shows us that you don't have the time to learn it. It's better for you to talk to different people, and we're willing, more than happy to show you. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but I think
that's I think they basically stretch whatever you want to talk about today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm still trying to figure out why do I do what I do. Well, the short answer is I'm a beneficiary of an environment where knowledge being shared, and I managed to grow myself out of the industry. I'm a beneficiary of this system.
Yep, me too.
As a result, I want to grow more. And turns out that the more I grow, the more the community grow, the more things I learn, the more people I know.
I think it's for me, it's actually in my early days, I benefited from the system.
Yes.
Like almost everybody I was involved in the Python community, and everybody seems to like be helping out with each others, especially my situation. So
Yes.
And yeah,
And
I want it.
Quite a number of startup people, software developers, do benefit in a way that because we use from the barcamp environment, so freelancer would spend a lot of hard time trying to prove themselves to companies to start up without a community. But I think a community outside of us, for example, barcamp, the startup community group, I think that the benefit of people in a way in practice because they let them have a career opportunity that they otherwise don't have, especially true for freelancer.
I think it's also it works as a validation for some of the people.
Correct, because otherwise they just don't have the opportunity to show themselves better. So that's the extra thing.
Yeah.
But some people still worry about like why we share because the last point I want to say about why we share. But it turns out that the recipe book and cook show doesn't close down restaurant.
Yeah.
So that's the reason.
I think some of if I want to be a bit off topic, is the really good food is about how much effort you put in to make it. It's not like the secret ingredient is like probably like within the last five the like 95. I cannot say 95. It's like 99 percentile.
Yes.
So basically get everything fresh, put your effort to it, and it tastes great.
Yep.
That's the same with sharing codes and knowledge.
Yes.
So, and especially in this internet era, so nothing is not being shared. So you get even like a lot more weirder stuff going on.
Yes.
People, because everything goes so much faster nowadays. So people view re-event stuff even if you're not sharing.
Correct. So there's no benefit now. You might want to say it's too late, but that's fine. But it is what it is. No single genius can fix the industry. Nobody can work alone. You need to work in a group, and a community can help you kickstart that. But that's. Let me look at the live chat. Nobody said anything. I think people just hate us.
Yeah, I think people are mostly there for Tristan.
Yes.
Yeah, not us. So we're the backbenchers.
All right. Anything else you want to add? Because we go to random places.
I don't think I want to add anything. Like I think we pretty much stretched the whole topic.
Yeah. So I think for the next show we will go to for the next few show, maybe not the next one, but we definitely cover a few other extra things like we try to organize it better this time on specific topic. For example, why do we involve in open source or things like that? So maybe that, but it might not be the next show, but we figure out.
We'll probably try to lobby some of the community organizers to come up here and talk with us. Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I need feedback on whether you're interested in what you all think about the last interview with Citron, because we plan to do more of this.
Yeah, I like it. I was not there, but I like it. I like the format.
I think we should. Yeah, I think I'm going to.
I think we need to support more locals' efforts, like startups, company, and stuff. Yeah,
I think we should do more interview. So I think we will do more interview. Maybe not Jimmy, simply because Jimmy is the founder of DevKami. Maybe someone else. But you get the idea. Maybe not Wendy because she was with DevKami, but someone from the Ruby, Women of Code, or hardware hacking community, etc.
Yep.
So yeah, I think we should do more community for all this to make sense. Yep. So that's it, and I'm going to say bye then.
Yeah. Bye. Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
I just realized to forget about event. Do we have any event soon?
No, not that I know of. I think you haven't stopped. I don't think you stopped the broadcast yet.
I know. Because I want to talk about event. Do we have event that we know of?
Not that I know of. I'm not
Yeah,
sure. I have to
there,
check some of the calendars.
you didn't check our calendar. Oh well, so goodbye then.
Yeah, goodbye then. Too bad for you guys.
Yes. Bye. 1, 2, 3.
Wait,
Stop
okay.
broadcast.
Okay.